Salve! Did you know that Thomas Aquinas was hilarious? Vade mecum. In Summa Theologiae, Book 1, Aquinas asks the question, does God exist? Now, as a 13th century Catholic, he thinks the answer is pretty obvious, but as a good scholastic theologian and philosopher, he needs to consider both sides of the question. So, he starts with two objections to God's existence. The first one is based on the problem of evil, and the second on the question of whether we need God to explain what we observe in the world. Next comes the sed contra, or on the contrary. This is where a scholastic master would be giving his own view after considering different arguments. And you're supposed to start by citing an auctoritas, that is, some authoritative traditional text. Notice the connection with both author and authority in the word auctoritas. If an auctoritas agrees with you, there's a good chance that your view is right. Aquinas goes right for the most authoritative auctoritas there is, the Bible. I mean, if God agrees with you, there's not much room for argument, right? But look at the passage he cites. He says, sed contra, on the contrary, est quod dicitur, there is what is said, exoditertio, in Exodus chapter 3, ex persona Dei, in the person of God. That is, God is the character who's talking in the story at this point. And God says, ego sum qui sum. I am who am. Now, this is, of course, one of the most mysterious names for God in the Bible, and theologians and linguists have spent centuries agoning over just what it means. And I've heard professors puzzle through why Aquinas would cite this passage and what it means for his view of God. And also, if you're trying to prove God's existence, isn't it circular reasoning to cite God as a source? God exists because God says so? Is Aquinas making a bad argument here? But I think all that misses the point. Aquinas is making a joke. You see, in Latin, to say something exists, you don't have to use a special word, exist. You can just say is. So to say God exists, you just say God is. Deus est. And to say I exist, you just say I am. Ego sum. So, when Aquinas cites Exodus 3:14, he's essentially saying, look, you want me to cite a source that shows that God exists? Well, check it out. God literally says in the Bible, I exist. Does Aquinas think this is a convincing argument? No, of course not. He's being funny. He's making a joke. He's lightening the mood before he dives into his 5 proofs of God's existence, proofs which, by the way, do not involve cheating by quoting God as a source on the topic of his own existence. You see, ancient and medieval people were just like us. They love to think, they love to wonder, and they love to laugh. But to understand their thoughts as well as their humor, you've got to learn their languages. So, follow me at Magister Andrews to find more resources to help you think Aquinas' own thoughts in Aquinas' own language. Vale multo.